Greetings, I'm Barrett, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. We're going to be continuing our playthrough of Machina Arcana. I had a lot of emails and comments for me to continue this playthrough, so I'm going to bring back Machina Arcana. We have made it through 4 of our chapters. We're going to be going into chapter 5. But before we start the chapter 5, the 5th chapter, I want to talk about some of the things that happened in the last playthrough so that people understand a lot of how this game plays. Number 1 is over here. We had the go off the tile, the exit token. I placed it over here and Jesse made a beeline for it. Well, actually it takes 2 stamina to walk off the actual tile through the exit, but that's okay. I would have been able to shut this door and still make it out without any problem. So everything would have been okay for our survivors. Our second thing I want to talk about is this card right here. Now up in the corner is a scenario specific icon. So this would be used in that scenario. Now, of course, the creators have said, this is your game, play how you want. They do encourage you to mix up all the decks to make a really fun experience. But if you only want to play with what's in your actual scenario, this is what you're looking for. So this card should not have been in my deck because I was planning only to play with the base stuff and for the stuff that's unique to this scenario. So that was my mistake. This shouldn't have actually been in the deck, but I do want to make sure you understand you can mix them together if you want to. The other thing I want to mention is our witch. Now, of course, we've seen this witch. We've talked about her before. She destroys a target action space and does something to the explorers. Now, of course, that will hit the entire map. But the one thing I want to talk about is when she destroyed a space. At one point, our witch had destroyed this space right here. So I went and put an explorer token on it. I did not realize that when a monster destroys a space, that is a trap or a barrel, it actually activates it. So at one point, I actually had one of my characters on one of these trap spaces. He should have taken damage from that. So when monsters destroy trap spaces or the barrels, they actually activate those things and make them fire off. And the final thing I want to talk about is a workbench. The workbench is way better than I thought it was. The workbench, when you draw your 3 cards from your workbench, you not only get to keep one of them, you can swap out cards from your inventory. For example, I had this artifact in my inventory, that reflexive sextant that we were using, and it was really cool. But then we decided to upgrade to our percolating stone. And when I upgraded that, this kind of went right back into my inventory. Well, what I could have done is swapped it out for this that I believe we found on our workbench. I don't know exactly if I found this on the workbench, but I'm just showing this as an example. I think it's one of the cards that I did draw on the workbench. So I could have actually swapped this, and this could have gone back into the discard pile, and this I could have swapped into our inventory or even onto our guy so that he would have been able to use this when he wanted to. So that the workbench is really cool. You could actually take all 3 items you get from the workbench as long as you replace them with cards from your inventory. But since I didn't do that, we still have this in our inventory, and that's okay. And the final thing I want to talk about is when we had our threat all the way up here, I said, okay, we made it right there. We have to go down to the bottom and move our monster level up to number 2. That's actually wrong. You actually have to do it one more time. So when your marker is here and then you take one more thread, hitting the arrow is what's going to bring it all the way back down, not getting up to the final point where the arrow is. So our monster threat was actually here. I'm actually going to drop it down 1 just to make the game be where it's supposed to be. We are on level 2 and we have 1 threat. This means that there might have been that level 2 monster that came out prematurely, but that's okay. So we're going to be going into chapter 5. And if you're excited to see if our explorers can make it through chapter 5, then I need you to meet me at the table. So let's go ahead and reveal chapter 5's card. It looks like this. Oh, it looks like we're returning to some kind of alienish type thing. Or maybe this is our home area, because of course we did exit. So this might be our home place. We'll find out. I'm going to move that up and we're going to read from chapter 5. It says, return to base. At last, fresh, cold air. How soothing and clean. We have left the horrors of that place behind us for the moment. But I know that we must return there. And soon. We must put an end to whatever is happening inside that awful mountain. Something perverse and disastrous is being prepared there. I can feel it. During our own exploration, the others had investigated the remains of another airship, presumably the Nostromo, of which Dr. Aladdin's memoirs had spoken. The evacuation team had been able to salvage some obscure arcane mechanism, which we hope to study and use to our advantage upon our return. So here's all the things we have to do. We can destroy 2 items to gain an item, and that means we're going to be able to draw 2 and keep 1. That's what gain item rule states. Also, I can give up 2 essence to reduce the monster threat by 1. I don't know, essence seems to be our best friend. I don't think I ever want to give it up. Now we're also going to be able to start at max health. It says here, explorers are at max health. Oh, that's so good, because both of us guys were, I think one was down to 1 and one was down to 2. Now we're also going to add item level 3 to all the different decks. And the explorers can trade with each other, the explorers can use their inventories, and then we're going to place an entry token. So it is really like going back to a base camp. We're going to go ahead and take care of all of these, then we're going to place our entry token on our new tile. Then of course we have to set our monster and horror ratings to 4 and 6. So we're going to go ahead and put that to 4. I'll put the other one to 6, and there we go. So let's go add our items level 3 and get ourselves to max health. So if we look at Artemis's card, he gets 4 max health, so he's good to go. He also has retained his 2 essence. I don't think you'll lose that between chapters. And of course, we also have Jesse. Jesse has 1 more health. He's up to 5. He has 1 essence, and he, of course, has that item right here. And there might be a chance that maybe I might destroy 2 items. I don't think we're ever going to use this. We might decide to destroy these 2 items to grab a new item. Now, since I'm over here, something else I want to talk about is I actually picked this up and just instantly equipped it. You can't. This is like an upgrade to this card. So I, again, would have to unequip all these items and do an upgrade to these things. I can't just keep on placing apparel cards down. I thought I could. That I believe was wrong. You can place, when she gets those free apparel cards, he could put it down. But if he ever wants to put another apparel card down, he has to unequip the ones he has. And again, we're going to make some monsters of a deck. Look at this. I've got all these level 3 cards. I'm going to shuffle into those weapons here. So this weapon stack is going to get absolutely huge. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, will we ever see any of these level 3 weapons? I have no idea. But we're going to go ahead and mix these up and put them back down right where they go. Wow, these decks get pretty big. That's amazing. All right, so that one's going to go right here. And I'm going to do that for all the other decks off camera so you don't have to see me shuffling all these cards. So there's a few more things we have to do. One is, you see there's nothing on these tiles because when we exited the tiles, these tiles, we're going to banish the tiles, and we're also going to ban, or I shouldn't say banish tiles, we're going to banish anything on the tiles, which means that our, with the deep one and also that evil dog are going to get banished. So they were on the tile, they're banished. I'm going to put their cards in the discard pile along with that witch. I believe that's what you do. I don't think you shuffle them back in the deck because the deck can persist into the next chapter. We're going to go ahead and take these 2 tiles off, and we're going to shuffle them, put them on the bottom. It tells us to put them on the bottom of here, but I'm going to put them on top because I don't know what the bottom tile is, and I think that's going to be more exciting. And not only that, I just knock the camera on. So here's our new tile that we're going to have right here. We're going to put it this way because our entry token is going to be placed right there. We're going to go ahead and put our 2 survivors down. And look at this. We're right next to a chest. Wow, you can't go wrong with that. Not to mention we're next to some trap spaces. If these guys are coming through, maybe I can get with traps one day. Oh, and there's some barrels. Oh, this might be a really fun tile. Now, we do have to activate the chapter space in order to continue on. And our chapter space is right over here. So this actually is a really nice tile. I could be wrong. This could be absolutely tragic for me. We'll find out. Now, who will I have? I think I'm going to go like this. I'm going to have Artemis over here. I think he's going to run over to that workbench. That way he can at least grab whatever it is. And I think he's going to go for a chest. I think that's going to be our best bet. Now, where we stand, we have a combined essence of 3, so we technically could run to that chapter space right now and try to activate it and move right into the next chapter. But I think it's going to be better to kind of build us up a little bit. So we're going to move him. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 over here, and he's going to spend 3 stamina to activate this. Or maybe I'll spend a stamina. Nope. We're just going to go ahead and activate our workbench because I think I want to get some really cool things. So we're going to place a explored token there, and then we're going to activate the workbench. So that means Artemis is going to use 1, 2, 3 to move to where the workbench is, and then 1, 2, 3 to activate our workbench. He's going to be out of stamina, but that's okay. He's going to get something cool. Let's hope. Now when we activate this workbench, we get to draw 3 items from any deck we want to. Then we can swap any drawn cards from the items from your inventory. I get to choose one, then keep it or give it to another adjacent explorer. I can then destroy any number of remaining cards, then place the rest on top of their corresponding item decks in any order. I can resolve use inventory effect for free, and then I have to put an explored token on top of the workbench, which we've already done. So let's go ahead and choose what we want to take. I think we're going to take a weapon card. We're also going to take an apparel because he doesn't have any defense right now. And I think we're also going to take, I really want to take that artifact card, but he's got a pretty good artifact right now. It's that one where he's actually able to get an item if he kills somebody, but of course he has to spend a lot of an essence and some, I think I'm going to go with an artifact. Why not? No, I think we're going to, oh, it's our choice. All right, we're going to go with an artifact. Here we go. All right, let's see what we find. We found, what's this? Reconnoitrances. Okay, terribly failed on that one. When you explore a new map tile, restores 6 stamina. Okay, that's okay. Let's see what else we found. Gyroscopic rail. Increase the weapon's attack rolls by 2. Oh my gosh, that's really good. I wonder if it's going to work with our spear. We'll have to find out. And then our last one is this gazing mirror. I can use an essence, and when you attack this round, use your will and armor for blocking. When you attack this round, use your will and armor for blocking. When you block, use attacker's will and armor for blocking. Sadly, I'm going to have to look a little bit more into this thing. I don't exactly understand what that means. Oh, okay, it took me a second to figure this out. So when I make this attack, they don't get to use their will and armor for blocking. They're going to use mine. And when I block, I get to use the attacker's will and armor for blocking. So actually, having low stats and having this in your inventory is actually pretty good. So when I block, I use the attacker's will and armor for blocking. That might not be too bad, especially those more powerful monsters. And that's probably why it's one of the only artifacts that probably doesn't give any will stats down here. So if I decide to take this, I could drop my will and my armor to 2 and 3, and that means anytime I attack, that's all they get. I try to beat them. And a lot of our monsters have a lot more than that. I think this is really good. I think we're going to keep this. This is what we're going to actually take, and then we're going to go ahead and figure out what we want to do about these. I might take this because I do have that other artifact. So it says I can swap this with something else, but I wouldn't be able to, and maybe, let's see, increase the weapon's attack roll by 2. Let's go see what we can do. Okay, so we know we're going to take this and we're going to put this back in our inventory. Now, if we look at our heavy javelin, we can't equip that to our heavy javelin. It doesn't have anything where I can equip it to. Now, of course, Jesse's items up here, he also cannot equip these either. So this is kind of a mute point to have right now. It is really good, and I think I am going to swap it out with this. I don't think I'm going to keep this, and I know I don't want this anymore because I want to make sure I keep my will and my armor at the lowest possible numbers I can have. So we're going to put that in there. Wow, for not having very many things, he's actually become really, really powerful with that item right there. And we're going to go ahead and discard this. I don't think this is going to do any good. I don't see any reason to have this card. And I think we're also going to go ahead and get rid of this as well. We're going to go get rid of both of these items. All right, that workbench action took a little bit longer than I thought it would. He's going to go ahead and move. Let's see here. How far is he going to move? He's going to move 1, 2 to right here, and then he's going to probably start using these chests. Maybe I'll move him over here, and these guys can decide kind of what they want to do. He's going to use this chest right here first. That's going to be what he's going to do. He's going to use 2 essence to move over here, or sorry, stamina to move over here 2, and then he's use 3 to activate that chest. So that's going to bring him down to 1 stamina, and it's probably where he's going to sit. I think he's going to go ahead and always draw an apparel card because you never know, he might get something really cool. And I think I'm going to grab a weapon. We may get a really cool weapon that can use that other thing that we got from Artemis over there. Maybe they can trade that with each other. Now we were able to receive, what's this? Retractor. Switch position with target. It would cost me 1 stamina and it's 2 range, but of course that can be blocked by obstacles. And I can use an inventory action for only using 1 stamina. Whoa, that's pretty good. We're going to put that one over here. And then what is this? The Dominator. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Let's see what it says here. Arcane attack for 3. It cost me 3 stamina. It's a range of 4, and it doesn't block by obstacles. Control target monster this round. I can spend an essence to. Wow, this thing is amazing. Banish the monster under your control. Oh, wow. Now it's 2-handed, which means I can't use it with that knife, but I don't think I care. I don't think I care at all. All right, we're totally taking this. This looks really, really good, even though this looks pretty awesome itself. I'm actually gonna put that back on top of the deck. I might grab that later because it's gonna be better than our holster weapon, I believe. I think because I can use the inventory. The other one just allows me to pull out ranged attacks. This one gets me to do the inventory action whenever I want, pretty much for free. All right, we're totally taking this and we're going to put it in our inventory. So this is going to go right in our inventory, but check this out. This is going to be awesome. I have 1 stamina left. Remember this thing? I can equip a ranged weapon for 1 stamina. We're totally going to do that. We're going to equip this for 1 stamina. These are going to go back. I can't actually have this one either. Now something tells me I might not be able to do that because that's not unequipping it. And all I'm doing is equipping. I don't know if I can do that. If I can't, let me know in the comments below, but I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with that. Now, this is not able to use this at all either, so sadly, I've still got more weapons that I can't use that with, but that's okay. Now, that took me 1 stamina to equip my ranged weapon, and it is a 2-handed weapon, so I can't have anything else equipped to it. I could decide to augment it and put this up here too, so I'd have 2 things, or I could augment it with this if I want to at some point, because these 2 things match up right here. But where we stand right now, we're just going to equip that ranged weapon. I don't know if I could have done that, because if I equip it, does that mean I do get to unequip these 2 items? I'd have to unequip in order to equip this. I think that's the deal. So we're going to go ahead and do it that way. We have our stamina at 0. He is done, and that's the end of our survivor's turn for the first turn here. Or I mean the explorer's turn. I keep calling them survivors. So we're going to place an explored token right here on that chest, and I forgot I have to give him 1 essence for using that chest. So Jesse is up to 2 essence. And now we have to go into the spawn phase. So we're sitting at 6 right now. So we have to roll, was it higher than a 6 to see a monster, 6 or higher? We want 1 through 5. I don't want to see any monsters. So we're going to go ahead and roll our die and see what we get. We're going to start with Artemis. Artemis got a 6, so he did spawn a monster. That's fantastic. Let's go see what it is. So the monster Artemis has found is a Boopoth. All right, we've seen this one before from the last playthrough. He has 2 armor and 2 will. So actually this guy is not will. He's taking advantage of that mirror. Maybe I got too excited about that mirror. He's got 2 health and he has 5 stamina. He's going to attempt to attack at a melee range with 1 black die and 1 white die. And when this monster is hit, he moves 2 spaces toward the spawn space. And this monster is going to immediately move 2 spaces on entry. So we're going to put him down there, put his 2 health on him. We're going to find his standee and place it on the board. He's going to go ahead and spawn right up here, and he has to move 2 squares towards us. So wow, he's going to move 1, 2, 3 next time. I think he might even have enough to actually attack us once. That's going to be terrible. So now it's going to be Jesse's turn. Let's see if he spawns a monster. Oh, he spawned a monster too. He got a 9. All right, Jesse, what have you found that is going to join the club? It is what is this? A Shantak. That thing looks destructive. Look at these claws. Ouch. 6 defense and 3 will. Wow, this is what I think this is going to be the one I want to have fight him. He's only got 1 health and he has 4 stamina. Let's see what he does. Again, he's trying to get into melee range. That attacks 2 black and 1 white. On a new round, place this monster to first position in the monster queue. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. When this monster moves, adjacent monsters move 1 space. Huh. All right, so he's going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and give him 1 health, and he's going to go on the board as well. And this monster is also going to spawn right up there. He's going to be coming down, but he doesn't get that free move like this guy does. So now we're going to go from the spawn phase into the horror phase. And if we look, our horror rating is at 4. I didn't have to move this because lucky us, we got 2 spawns. We're going to go ahead and roll our horror event. We need a 4 or less. And I know, I just realized this. I forgot I could have used chests from a long ways away. I can activate chests up to 3 range, or 2 range, sorry, for 3 stamina. So it's the same amount of stamina, and I could have maybe just stood where I was and used both those chests, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and keep on going. So we're going to go ahead and roll our die. We need to get less than a 4. We got a 3. All right, that's amazing. All right, so no horror event happens. Now, since nothing happened, we do have to tick our marker down by 1. So we're going to activate our monsters in order from him to him. Now, of course, he has that ability that states that he goes to the front of the track, but that's only at the new round. This is not a new round. So he's going to activate first. He's got 5 stamina. So he's going to go ahead and try to move closest and attack the person with the least amount of health, and that's Artemis. 1, 2, and he's going to move 3. He always wants to try to stay orthogonally. You want to try to get them as orthogonally to you as they can. So he's moved 3, and he has 2 left, which is just enough to use his attack. And he's going to roll 1 white and 1 black die, and I have to use his defense, which is 2. I don't think this is going to end up well. So our Boopaw thing is going to attack us. He gets to use a white and black die, and I have to use his defense because of my gazing mirror. It says, when you block, use attacker's will and armor for blocking. So I'm going to be using his 2 armor. So let's see. Hopefully his 2 armor holds up. He got a 2, which is just enough to do damage to me. So Jesse's going to lose 1 health. Oh, that's not too bad. So next we're going to go ahead and move our Shantek. He is going to move next. He's going to go with his 4 stamina. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up here next to us. Now that's the end of our monster phase. He didn't get to do anything because his attack is a melee, and of course it's going to cost him some stamina, and he doesn't have any stamina left. So now it's going to go on to our turn. Now I think I'm going to have Jesse go first. He's going to shoot this guy and that guy. I think that's going to be our plan. He's going to arcane attack both of those guys, and then he's going to have to go ahead and finish this guy off. And that's going to be really probably the only thing we're able to do this turn. Whenever we spawn 2 monsters, it really kind of wrecks any plan I have for it, what I'm planning to do. So Jesse's going to go ahead and attack that Shantek with his Dominator. He's going to use this arcane attack. Now I could control the monster, which is kind of interesting. If you go ahead and do this ability, I could control a monster, which means I have full control of it for that round. I could have this guy attack that barrel and blow himself up. I could take control of this monster to fight that monster if I want. I could even take him and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and run right into a pit if I wanted to. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to shoot him right now because I don't want to spend the essence on taking control of a monster. So let's go ahead and see how we do. So our Shantek here has a defense of 3. I get to roll 3 black dice with my Dominator. This thing's going to be awesome. Now this, of course, is costing me 3 stamina to do this. So let's see how we do. We got a 4. That's more than enough to do the 1 health that this guy has. He's dead. So he's going to gain an essence for killing a monster. He's also going to go all the way back to his 6 stamina. I should have done that. 1, 2, 3 for using the Dominator. Now he's going to use the Dominator 1, 2, 3 again to shoot that other monster, the Boopaw. But before we do that, we're going to put this into the destroyed monster deck. Now there is something I have to correct when it comes to the destroyed monster deck. We're on monster level 2, so any monster level 1s that get defeated have to be removed from the game. So we're going to remove our Witch, and we're going to remove our Deep One. I'm not sure if the Witch was actually part of the level 2s, but we're just going to go with it. We're going to go ahead and keep just our level 2 monsters. We're going to remove this one from the board. But if you ever get to a point where you go to the next monster level, you shuffle everything together, and then as you're drawing, if you get monsters that are lower level than the current monster level, you remove them from the game as you defeat them. So when we defeat this monster, for example, or if we defeat this monster, I bet we're going to, this monster will also be removed, meaning only you're going to get level 2 monsters eventually, and all the level 1s will be out. Eventually level 3s will come out, and then so forth. So the 2s will slowly get removed and only have 3s. But we're going to remove the standee from the board, and we're going to go on to fighting this guy. So this character only has 2 arcane defense. And again, I get to roll 3 black dice with my Dominator. Let's see how we do. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's plenty. Now he has 2 health, so he does take 1. So he's going to go down to 1 health. He'll still have the other one, and now his ability is going to fire off. And his ability here states that he gets to, when this monster is hit, it moves 2 spaces toward the spawn space. So it's going to go 1, 2, back up that way. Now that's the end of Jesse's turn. He's used all 6 of his stamina. It costs 3 to fire off that Dominator. So we're going to move into Artemis. Artemis is going to move 1, 2, and then attack with that spear for 2. So our Boopaw, of course, has a defense of 2. And we're going to go ahead and throw our heavy javelin, which has 3 white dice. I could throw it. Not throw it. We're just going to attack with it. We learned from the last video, throwing is a bad idea. So now, of course, I could do this. I could spend an essence when I attack this round. Your will and armor for blocking are used by the monster. But that's not going to matter because we both have the same. So I'm not going to spend an essence to do that. Instead, we're just going to go ahead and attack with our white dice. And we need to get a 2 or better. And we got... oh, wow, look at that. We barely did it. We got 2 misses and then a 2. We got our 2, which is going to defeat him because he already had 1 health done already. We're going to flip our other token. He's dead. We're going to gain an essence. So we're going to gain 1 essence for killing that creature. We're going to lose 2 stamina for walking and then 2 more for using our javelin. And then we're going to spend the other 2 just to go ahead and move again. We're going to put our javelin back, and we also have that gaze. I think the gazing mirror gets better as the monsters get harder. And since he is a level 1 monster, he's going to be removed from the game. He's not going to go into the discard pile. We're going to take his standee, and we're also going to remove that from the game as well. So he can move back down 1, 2, and maybe he'll use this chest next time. Maybe Jesse will use some of that. Now, of course, I do have a way more stamina than I need to activate this chapter space, but like I said, I'd like to maybe collect everything down here first, then run over here and do this, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next chapter, and right now the chapter's not too bad. It only has a 6 spawn rate and a 4 horror rating, so I don't know what the next card is going to hold for us, so we're going to go over here pretty quick, but I think I want to finish checking out these things. If these monsters would stop spawning, maybe I could actually do that. And speaking of spawning monsters, that's what time it is. It's time to spawn our monsters again. So we're going to roll our dice. We need a 6 or more to see a monster. So we're going to go ahead and roll our 10-sided die. Yep, I changed back to the red one because the black one spawned 2 monsters. Normally I'm not superstitious about dice. I never really am at all. But it's just been so funny that these dice have been rolling so high on our spawn phase. Artemis, let's see what happens. He got an 8. We spawned a monster. So our first monster that spawned in this phase is going to be the Moon Beast again. Okay, we've seen this guy before. He's going to try to pull us in and attack us. He has 5 stamina, 4 defense, and 3 will. And he only has 1 health. And when this monster is adjacent to a wall, it's ethereal. Oh, that's going to be terrible. I got to get him out from some walls here. All right, and he's going to have 1 health. So our Moon Beast is going to spawn right up there. Now we're going to roll for our horror event. And let's see how that goes. Oh no, we don't do our horror event. We've got to roll one more time for our monsters. Artemis has found a monster. Let's see if Jesse can find one too. Jesse, of course, can find a monster. It's monster time again. Oh, it's like a monster mash. We got lots of fun stuff coming at us. Let's see what it is. What is this? A Night Knot. Night Gaunt. 3 armor, 4 will, 1 health, and 5 stamina. It does an arcane attack at melee range. Okay. And when this monster attacks, it teleports with blocker to spawn space. Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. Okay, we don't want this guy around. All right, he only has 1 health. The good thing is a lot of these guys only have 1 health. It's just a matter of surviving what they do to us. But before we roll for a horror event, we've got to go ahead and spawn this guy. He's going to go right here. He's going to go adjacent to this space. And I think right there is going to be probably his most advantageous space to try to get to us. Now we're going to roll our horror event. So we're going to go ahead and roll our die. We need a 4 or less, or a 3 or less. Oh, we got a 1. Wow. Well, we don't roll horror events. We roll monsters real good. So we're going to go ahead and drop this down to 2. Wow, how lucky can we be? Now our monsters are going to activate. It's going to start with our Moon Beast first. Let's see what he's going to do. He's got 5 stamina. He's going to first try to get up to us and try to attack us or pull us in, whichever one he can do first. So he needs 2 stamina to pull us at a range 3. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then at 1, 2, he can try to pull us. Yep, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's got a 3 range. So he's going to pull him 2, 1, 2, right up to here. So Artemis is in kind of big trouble. Now our next person to go is going to be that Night Gnot thing. He's got 5 stamina, and he wants to do an arcane melee attack. Now, of course, he can't move through his friends here. So he's going to have to, he could go 1, 2 right there. And now he could attack him. 2, he's got an arcane attack here. And he's going to use 3 black dice, add 2 stamina. He's got 5 stamina. He's already used 2 to move. 1, 1, 2. And then he's now going to be adjacent or be able to attack him with the other 3 he's got. He's going to go down to 1 stamina, so he gets 1 attack on Artemis. So here's our Night Knot. He's going to go ahead and attack us with an arcane attack. He has 3 black dice that he gets to roll. Now the interesting thing is I actually get to use his arcane defense because of my mirror here. When you block, you use the attacker's will and armor. So his will is actually 4. So I get to go ahead and use his 4 willpower against his 3 dice. Again, don't think my odds are that great, but you never know. He got exactly 4. Everybody gets exactly the right number to hit me. All right, so he did 1 damage to Artemis. So Artemis again is going to lose 1 health. But that's not all. The party continues. Here down here it says when the monster attacks, it teleports with blocker to spawn space. So it's going to teleport me right up here. That's awesome. Not awesome. So I'm up there next to the spawn space. We have totally separated our team. We've finished out with the monsters. Now we're going to go ahead and move into our explorer's turn. So the first explorer that's going to go is Jesse. Jesse's going to go ahead and use that Dominator on this guy and try to take him out in 1 shot. That's my plan. Now, I could use the barrel if I wanted to, but if we look at our Moon Beast defense is worse when it comes to arcane attacks than it does to come with physical attacks. So that's why we're going to go ahead and just use his Dominator 1, 2, 3 to go ahead and shoot this guy. So our Moon Beast only has 3 again, arcane defense, and we're going to go ahead and use that Dominator. And this Dominator gets to roll 3 black dice, and that's a range of 4. That's just ridiculous. Plus, of course, Jesse has an ability that says that his ranged weapons have an extra 1 range. So he's got 5 range with this thing. But it takes 3 stamina, but I do get to roll 3 black dice against this Moon Beast. So let's see if we're able to take him out. I need to get a 3 or better. And I got a 3 just on 1 die. We totally wrecked this guy. So he's going to go ahead and take the 1 damage he has, and he's going to be eliminated. So for eliminating that monster, he's going to gain 1 essence. And since the Moon Beast is a level 1 monster, we're going to be removing his standee from the game, and also we're going to go ahead and remove his card. There it is, right there, level 1. So we're never going to see the Moon Beast again. And for using our Dominator, it's going to cost us 1, 2, 3 essence, and I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 to move again. I know I was thinking about getting all those treasure chests and things, but I don't think we're going to have time. Besides, we've got a lot of essence. I think it's time to move on. Now, I know I was thinking of getting maybe this treasure chest or this explorer space, but I really think it's time to trigger our chapter space. But this is really tempting to get, and it's only going to be 3 essence, or 3 stamina. Let's go ahead and do that. We've got the essence, and besides, our other guy, Artemis, is way up there, so it's going to take him a little while to get to that space. So why don't we go ahead and trigger this? I think that's going to be our plan. Let's see what explorer card we get. Now, the one that's on top right now allows us to gain chests from a little ways away, but I think that's a moot point at this point. We have lots of good items, so I think we're just going to go ahead and see what happens to our explorers here. Spatial anomaly. Zap! I don't understand it. Mere moments ago, I had wandered utterly lost in these passages, but now I can see them clearer than ever before. It is as if I can walk to any location in the surrounding area. It says here, teleport to any passable space. Wow, that's really, really good. Oh, that's perfect. All right, we're going to go take care of that. So Jesse is going to gain an essence for activating that space, and he's at his max. He can only have 5, so that's all he can get. So we need to start using some of that essence. We're going to move him right here. Actually, I'm going to move him right there. That's going to be the plan, because maybe he can get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could just run over here and forget about this monster that's up here and help out Jesse next turn to do this chapter space. Or I could just have Jesse do it himself. He's got plenty of essence. I think that'll be our plan. Meanwhile, up here, we've got this terrible creature. We're going to have to kill it. So I'm going to go ahead and use my javelin. I'm just going to stab him with it. So using our heavy javelin is going to cost us 2 stamina. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. There we go. Now let's see what we can do to this guy. So we've got our Gnot creature. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. He has 1 health. Now he only has 3 defense against normal attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and use my javelin with 3 white dice. Now I could spend an essence to use that mirror to give him 2 defense, but I think the difference between 2 and 3 is really not that much. So we're going to go ahead and roll our dice and see how we do against him. Oh, look at that. We got plenty. We got 4. So 4 is plenty to hit this guy. So we're going to go ahead and do our 1 damage to him. Now he's a level 2 monster, so he's just going to go in the discard pile, or the destroyed monster deck, I mean, and he might be coming back again. So we're going to gain an essence for killing that monster. So we're going to remove his standee from the board, and we're going to go ahead and use the rest of our stamina. We have 4. We're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to try to run down here and maybe help Jesse with this. That might be the plan. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I might activate these trap spaces if more monsters start coming. With our explorers done, we're going to move into our spawn, and then we're going to need to roll a 6. 6 or better to see a monster, 5 or less to not see a monster. Now, of course, our horror stage, we need to roll a 1 to not see it. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. We rolled a 1 last time. So we're going to go ahead and have Jesse roll first and see what happens. Another 10! We found yet another monster. Wow, these monsters are worse than the aliens. The aliens just keep on coming and coming. All right, let's see what we find. We found, what is this? A formless spawn. It's going to attempt to range attack 2 with an unbelievable amount of dice. Oh, and look at the defenses on this guy. A 5 and a 4. 1 health and 4 stamina. The monster can move and targets through walls and closed doors. Unbelievable. When this monster attacks, blocker uses lower value between its armor and will for blocking. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's something. He's going to gain 1 of his health tokens here. Now, he only has 1 health, which is kind of nice, but I'm going to find his standee and put him on the board. Here is our formless spawn. Wow, let's see where he's going to spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to spawn over here because it's going to be easier for him to get to him. Now he can target through walls. 1, and what's his range? 2. All right, so wow, he might actually get to me. 1, 2, 3, and then he, oh, good. Oh, I think we're going to be lucky. I don't think he's going to be able to hit us, which is going to be great. But we still have to roll for one more guy. All right, so now we have to roll for our other guy. Let's see what happens. And he also found a monster. Wow, it's Monster City again. Well, like I said, if you ever want to see all the monsters in Machina Arcana, just watch my playthrough. Let's see what we find this time. Oh, we found our tree again. Oh, but this thing's terrible. It hits the entire board. I have to go kill this thing. All right, let's see here. It's got 4 and 3, 1 health and 1 stamina. We've seen this before. So we're going to go ahead and put his health token on him, and we're going to place him on the board. So again, we're going to have to spawn our tree. And he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still going to be closer over here. I think I'm going to put him right there because I believe that's going to be how close he's, or you could put him there. I'm going to put him there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, he would be 5 squares away from me. So I think I'm going to put him right there, mainly because I might have a chance of actually getting him. That's going to be my plan. And last but not least, we have to roll our horror event, and the only thing that can save us is a 1, and it's about time we finally have gotten a horror event. So we do have to move our gauge back to 4. Of course, I've never had to move this because we've spawned a monster all the time. And we do have to move our threat up 1 spot. And now we have to draw our horror card. Let's see what happens here. We got Watchers in the Dark. As we move through the chambers, we sense the oppressive stares of unseen lurkers. They tracked our every move as if knowing where we would step before we did. Their presence hounded us, rankling our nerves. We knew they were patiently waiting, seeking the perfect time to fall upon us. Increase monster threat for each Bound Explorer event. Well, that's awesome. We don't have any Bound Explorer events. We've never even seen one. So we don't have anything to worry about with that horror phase. So moving into our monster phase, he is going to move first. And according to his heart card, he can move and target through walls and closed doors. This guy is ridiculous. We have to take him out. So he's going to use his 4 stamina. 1, 2, 3. Now his attack is only a range of 2. So 1, 2, he can finally hit me, but he doesn't have enough stamina. He only has 1 left. So he's going to move right there. And he's going to stop. Now, of course, we have our tree, which is off in the middle of nowhere. And it says, if there's a wounded monster, restore 1 health to the monster. No, there's not. So he's going to use 1 stamina to arcane attack the entire tile for 3 white dice. Now, he only has 1 stamina, so that is what he's going to do. And that's the only thing he's going to do. So our giant tree, Cthulhu here, he's going to roll 3 white dice. And we're going to roll it once and compare it to the defense of all our explorers. Now, of course, Artemis has that mirror. So his defense is actually going to be 4. Now, Jesse, he's got quite a bit. He's got 3 plus 3 is 6. So let's see how we do. Hopefully this doesn't do anything to us. Well, like, oh my God, he got a super roll. He got a 6. He hit absolutely everybody. So Artemis, again, is just falling to pieces here. He is down to 1 health again, but we have all this essence. I'm probably going to get to 5 here in a second by taking out that one guy. Now, that's the first wound that Jesse has taken. So that's the end of the monster phase. We're going to move into our explorer phase. And at the beginning of the explorer phase, I get to use this. I can restore 3 health, or on a new round, roll. If I get a 5 or better, I can restore 1 health on Jesse, bringing him back to full. I'm just going to roll right here on the board. We got a 1. Oh, where were you when I need to roll for a horror event? Now we're going to start with Jesse. Jesse's going to do a couple things. First off, he's going to destroy these 2 items to be able to gain 1 item. I'm able to do that during this chapter. So on our chapter card, it does say right there, destroy 2 items, gain 1 gain item. So I get to use the gain item ability. We're going to destroy those 2, and we're going to take a consumable, and we're also going to take a weapon. I know I've got a really good weapon, but there might be a chance that I can maybe get one for Artemis. That spear's pretty cool, but maybe we can get something better. Let's see what we found. We found a fuliginous flask. Said that wrong, I'm sure. Target unit is ethereal this round. Explorers can target ethereal units this round. Oh, that might be really good in case we find one of those, something that I can't actually attack. And what's this? Horrid Reaper. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Attack 2 white, 2 black, pull 1 space. It has a range of 2 and it costs 3 stamina. Or I could just attack an adjacent unit for 3 with 3 stamina. Use an essence and 3 attack 1 black and white to adjacent units. Push adjacent units 2 spaces. My gosh, this thing is awesome. We are totally taking this. Now, of course, that means I still can't attack ethereal units, but this weapon is so good. I'm going to try to find a way to get it to our Artemis guy. He really needs a better weapon. And we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to put this back on top because we know where it is now. So if we ever need to attack an ethereal unit, we can go ahead, find a chest, open it, grab that, and then attack him. So I'm going to put this up into his inventory here. Now that didn't cost him any stamina, and he should have 6. And now we're going to continue on with his turn. So now that Jesse found that awesome weapon, he's going to go ahead and activate this chapter space. Now to do that, he's got to pay 3 stamina and 3 essence. He's going to do this by himself. I'm not going to use Artemis at all. Now I also could use this trap space, which could damage this thing and probably kill it. That's probably another thing I'm planning to do because I don't want him to be around. But I want to do the chapter space first because he's at max essence. He can't actually gain any more. So he's going to use 3 stamina. And he's going to use 3 essence. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's a lot of essence. But we have to do it. And we're going to activate our chapter space. So I'm going to put my explored token right down there on the chapter space, and we're going to move into the next chapter. But we're going to see that in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough. If you are, hit the like, subscribe, bell symbol, and you'll know when the next video is coming. Also, please feel free to share this video with everyone. And please leave anything in the comments below. I'd love to hear from everyone. This game is so much fun, and I'm having a great time bringing it back to the channel. I hope you guys are as well. And if you're excited to see what happens in the next chapter, then I need you to meet me at the table.